In this video, me and my friend are going to reviewing Kure. Kure is a project management app that uses AI to create customized process optimization paths, helping your team work more efficiently and reduce errors. But before we move on, I want to say that if you have any questions about Kure, then drop a comment down below, and I have put a special discount link that will keep updated so you can get the best deals possible on Kure. Now my friend will give you all a demo of Kure.
Start this by selecting Create a Project on the menu, the Create Project button, and it's going to ask you for a title for your project. Give it a name that is descriptive, makes sense to you. The app is going to walk us through a series of simple questions to help you build your project. Next, it's going to ask you what type of path you want to take. In this case, we're going to do a quick win basic improvement project. We're going to start this process by defining your project. You'll notice here on this screen, we'll just name this process, a common name that's used to describe the work that's done in the workplace. You'll notice across the top of the screen, we've got a map of the process optimization path. What's my opportunity? What's my process? What's causing my problem? What's my solution? You're going through here and answering some basic questions to build a charter, the definition of your project. It's asking you what your process does, give it a description of how it takes inputs and creates the outputs. So a few words to describe what's actually happening. You'll have a process owner we've talked about earlier, the person that manages or is responsible for the process. All the things that are critical to define what we're doing, why we're doing it, and who's involved. You may have a team. If you do, we'll list those here. Often a quick win project can be an individual project, so you may not. So that's why it's optional. You'll notice we're typing in the email addresses that'll become apparent later. As we finalize this, those individuals will be invited to join you in this project. So by hitting next, the application is building your project charter. Here's the description of the project. If it's all in order, you hit next. You have confirmation to invite your team members, and you're on to the improvement process. Next stage, what's my process? So here you're going to identify how the work is actually done. We're going to use a swim lane process map to do that. You'll notice we're filling out the swim lanes now. The swim lanes are the roles or people involved in the process, roles, functions, or individuals. It starts out with 3. You could have 2 to 7 we see typically. Normally 2, 3, or 4 is enough to kind of describe most processes that we've been working on. Next, you're going to actually outline the process steps as they're currently performed in the workplace. We'll start with a reasonably detailed process map, 7 to 15 steps. No need to go into too much more detail at this point. You want to build this with your team, try to capture as accurately as possible what's happening. You'll review that with team members, other subject matter experts as well. This will be a key foundation for our improvement in your project. We'll use this as the basis of the analysis going forward, as well as generating improvements to improve this process. So this will change or may change over time as you make improvements to your flow. You'll continue to outline this with the steps that each of the functions perform in that process. Now we're going to make sure that the process flow is clear. We're going to do that with the arrows, these snap-in-place arrows, to kind of go from one step to the next to really outline how the work flows from step to step and through the various functions involved. So this process map is exportable. You can print this out and share that with the team members and stakeholders for their review and feedback. Once you complete this process map, it takes you to the next step, which is the process walk. Again, a further understanding of what's going on in the current process by walking that process and identifying opportunities for improvement. So this process map is kind of a planning phase to make that happen. So as we go to the next step and we do the process walk, we're actually going to document our observations. So as you watch this screen and you'll notice the inputs here, the team is walking the process, whether it's a physical process or a virtual process, walking through the steps of the process, identifying opportunities for improvement using the 8 wastes or other process complexities that are listed in the drop-down. We're going to categorize those by these categories you see here. And we're also going to prioritize them by the impact they have on the process, high, medium, or low, based on the impact they have on the process relative to the problem we're trying to solve. And if you need any notes to further clarify this, you've got a space to capture that there. This will be your log, if you will, of all the observations. We'll do a few here in the demo, but you may have numerous. You want to capture as many as you can, and then you want to prioritize these. So we work on the most important opportunities first. The application is going to carry these forward into two different branches. One we'll talk about in just a moment. If you've got a disorganization opportunity that where the chances to reorganize and improve that organization can drive improvement in the process, that's a specific path. Then there'll be another path where we do a root cause analysis to help us get down to a specific level of detail. And the app will take care of that for you as we go forward when we go to the next step, which will be what's causing my problem. But first, capture all your opportunities here. With enough detail. As you notice, disorganization was a key category. That's the one that will take us to the 5S, the organization step. And we put a note that the staff was frustrated with this. So the app recognizes that. So the next thing we're going to do is go to a tool called the 5S. But before we do that, we're going to talk about baselining this process. So before we start making any changes,
And after that, I want to say that Cure is a decent product for you and your team work more efficiently with low errors. And I want to remind you all again, I have put a special discount link in the description that will be keep updated, so you can get the best deal possible on Cure. Thanks for watching my video.